So the concept of net zero really starts with the first words in that compound word net, right? There are emissions, there are emitters, and there are sequesterers of carbon. And so that's the foundation of the marketplace. If you're an emitter, you want to buy carbon credits to offset your emissions. What you're really buying is a promise from the originator of the carbon to sequester that carbon permanently, right? In a nature-based solution or a technological solution or the like. The carbon is being permanently sequestered from the atmosphere, regardless of the methodology or the technology that's being used. That's really what you're buying, because carbon is a characteristic of the land. It's just data. You can't take physical delivery of carbon. So when you're buying the carbon, you're buying a promise. You're buying a promise from a third party to do something. And that's really to permanently sequester that carbon. Without data, you have no way of knowing if that promise is being taken seriously, if you've actually gotten anything for your money. But with data, and with remote sensing and with modern technological platforms, you can see every single day in real time whether or not that promise that you've paid for is being upheld. That adds value. That is the value of the promise. So instead of saying, trust me, which is really a charity type transaction, what we now have is an auditable performance obligation on the part of the seller of the carbon credit. You give me cash for my carbon, I give you a promise to preserve that carbon. But the buyer has power now. They have agency that they never used to have because they now have information. They have access to information via SADAR and via Laconic. They have the ability to verify and to validate on demand whether or not this promise is being kept or not. And because there's other underlying data inside the instrument, if that promise isn't being kept, they have recourse. That's an event of default, and the contract can spell out what occurs in an event of default. You owe me a penalty. You owe me carbon from a different source. I can sue you for specific performance. Whatever the buyers and sellers work out, Laconic and SADAR are agnostic to that. So we have the total freedom economically to do whatever the capital markets decide is the most efficient solution between buyer and seller. But what the critical thing here is that it's all driven by data availability. People are willing to pay more for something that they can validate. They're willing to pay less for something that they cannot validate. So when we go for today, carbon credit is $2, $4. Why? Because it's just a non-validatable promise. It's not worth the paper that it's printed on. And we go to something where it's validatable, it passes compliance, it can be valued, it can be audited, it can be transferred. All of these things are data structures. And by supplying those data structures, as Laconic does, we enable the market not only to exist from a transaction basis, more carbon is being bought and sold, but it's being bought and sold at a much higher price. The total notional value of the marketplace is orders of magnitude higher in that scenario, powered by technology, than it is today, not powered by technology.